The latest stories from It's the STV Glasgow News at 10.
This is the STV News at 10. Coming up, squalor and decay, the despair among some residents of Glasgow's Govan Hill. The families of two students killed by a driver with a history of blackout start a private prosecution against him. And I'll be back to front. Movie star Arnold Schwarzenegger takes a wrong turn on a bike ride through the capital. Good evening. The First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, has been confronted by angry residents in her constituency of Govan Hill in Glasgow who say people are living in squalid conditions that are going from bad to worse. Glasgow City Council and the Scottish Government have spent nearly £10 million to buy out private properties that are decaying and overcrowded. Despite the efforts, locals say they are still living in conditions which have no place in the 21st century. Amy Irons reports.
I can only say, please help us. It's just like we are living like animals.
All these pictures and all these videos.
There's a rat! Oh my God. This is just disgusting.
You're only about 5 minutes away from Hampden Park. Is this really Glasgow? Is this really the 21st century?
A walk through Govan Hill in 2016, a place where home has become hell, with scenes that revolt and disgust in equal measure.
The place is a shambles. It's stinking, it's manky, and we will continue campaigning. We are not going to stop.
Me, I'm cleaning everything, everything. I'm going here. That is mine here space.
I don't want to stay here and don't want to live here. Please give me some place where I want to go, because I don't want to stay here. Is a lot of problems. Sometimes I call the police, sometimes call the hub. Nothing, all is helpless.
Amir took us inside his close to show us the dire conditions of this private tenement. Essential repairs by landlords are clearly ignored.
It's nearly 2 or 3 years this happened, and this all is because they're renting property. The people who is managing this property, who don't care about that. I told the guy who is managing this one, you need to do this one. You need to do it, but he nothing.
Amir's story isn't unique. In an area of overcrowding and high concentrations of private landlords, conditions like this have plagued Govan Hill for years. The Scottish Government and Glasgow City Council have highlighted it as a high priority area and are ploughing in nearly £10 million into a scheme which aims to buy out these properties and get them into some kind of control. But the problem is so big that local campaigners here say it's not enough and confronted the First Minister while she was in her own constituency last weekend.
I know that there's elderly people and hundreds of families living in a ghetto where there's infestations of rat, bed lice, cockroaches and vermin. And I take it you've seen the videos of the back courts. Have you ever done a selfie in the back courts?
I've raised the issue of the back courts. The people, you want to come in my surgery anytime.
Well, I take the view that it's less productive to talk about who's responsible and more productive to talk about how me as MSP, the local councillors, the Scottish Government, the Council, the police, different agencies work together to resolve these problems, and that's what I will continue to be focused on.
STV News showed our footage to the director of Shelter Scotland.
These are unbelievable. To think that people are living in these conditions in 21st century Scotland. Everything about that is wrong. Scotland has done a great deal over the last 25, 30 years to actually improve its housing, but quite clearly we need more still to be done.
For all agencies involved, getting Govan Hill out of this dire situation is a complex problem which will take time. But for some residents here, it already feels like a life sentence. Glasgow City Council says that the rubbish seen in my report has now been cleared. They say they understand the real frustration of residents and campaigners, but emphasise that every single person who lives in this area must play their part. It's an ongoing battle here in Govan Hill, an epic battle that everyone that I've spoke to wants to win.